Ed Reed, and you're watching Sports Desk.
Hi, I'm Jim Kelly, former guy. You're watching Sports Desk.
What's up? I'm DJ Williams, and y'all watching Sports Desk.
Hello and welcome to this special presentation of Sports Desk. I'm your host, Daniel Toll. Our first story today takes us back in time, back to the decades of legacy and history that Miami Athletics brought to Coral Gables. But what's a college team without its signature mascot? Daryl Barnes uncovers the origins of Sebastian the Ibis and shares how one Sebastian played a role in rewriting history.
There's definitely that moments in suit where you're like, wow, this is my life. This is really what I get to do every day.
You get to do things that no other student gets to do.
It's electric.
It really is something that can change your life.
As soon as you put the head on, you become a different person.
You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl.
Sebastian is a guy, so I think they'll be surprised to see that somebody who's not a guy can portray a male character.
It is a big deal. I'm a girl, I'm sitting here, I did it, so it's not that it can't be done.
You know you could.
The Miami Hurricanes football team is recognized across the country, and anyone who spent time at the University of Miami knows the most famous Canes fan, Sebastian the Ibis.
In Miami, Sebastian is kind of like a celebrity.
Sebastian, UM's big feathery mascot, means a lot to fans and the community, but what you may not realize is what he means to the people inside of the suit.
Being Sebastian has been the greatest part of my college experience, without a doubt, hands down. Nothing comes close to it.
You feel the energy when you get people pumped up. Everyone just goes crazy. It's awesome.
It's like basketball games or football games. You're just standing there and you have an entire crowd of people just cheering you on. You only get that as a mascot.
But it's Maddie's experience that stands out above the others.
A day in the life of Sebastian.
Even from the flock of Sebastians she graduated with in May 2022.
My mom always texts me and reminds me, she's like, you're making history.
That's because her journey into becoming Sebastian marked the first time in more than 40 years that a woman put on the iconic Miami mascot suit. But to understand what makes Maddie unique, we have to go back to the beginning, when Sebastian was just a hatchling. You see, Sebastian isn't Miami's original mascot. Rewind to the 1940s. Back then, the mascot was Hurricane 1, a 65-pound boxer. But in 1958, UM ditched the dog, and an ibis flew onto the scene. The original ibis mascot was created by a student named John Stormont. They called the bird Icky, but that didn't last. Students voted to rename the bird after the dorm Stormont lived in, San Sebastian Hall. So he became Sebastian the Ibis. For years, being Sebastian wasn't a secret society of mascots. Instead, it was a club on campus that any UM student could join. Sindra Sasso was one of those students in the late 70s.
It was no secret back then. There was no tryouts. You just went out. That was it. Your tryout was put the costume on and go do it. We had females, we had males. We were pretty equal. It wasn't a big deal. We did it because we loved it.
Not long after Sindra graduated, the group of students willing to be Sebastian shrunk. That was when the Miami Athletic Department took the mascot program under its wing, making it more formal and hiring John Ruth, a professional mascot.
I was hired to be the maniac first.
In the early 80s, legendary Canes baseball coach Ron Frazier wanted a mascot specifically for his team called the Miami Maniac. Ruth was hired to bring that character to life.
The Maniac character is a little crazier. The Sebastian is more of a tough character, and the Maniac can do those wild and crazy things.
By 1984, Ruth was such a hit as the Maniac that he also began playing Sebastian, starting a tradition that stands today. One person playing both mascots. He also transformed Sebastian into the character fans know and love today, updating the look and creating new traditions like the cane spell out.
I did everything for almost 10 years, but now with the demands on Sebastian, you need 2 or 3 people for sure to be able to make sure that someone can be at every event.
People don't realize Sebastian does like weddings and birthday parties and stuff. Like he can do anything.
Ruth hung up his feathers in 1993. That's when the athletics department revamped the program and turned it over to a team of students to help out.
Our goal is to always have the team be a cohesive unit because we're all representing one character.
A former Sebastian himself, Will LaRosa is the coach of this team. But joining it comes with a catch.
Everybody lives a double life, but one of the 2 lives are the same.
People who join the flock have to keep it a secret, and they take it really seriously.
What can't you tell us?
There's so much I can't tell you.
Why?
Because it'll blow the whole operation.
My lips are sealed. I don't have anything for you.
Nothing? No. How many suits? How many people are there?
None of that.
It's a secret because we don't want like, oh, look, Jake did this crazy thing. It's like, no, like Sebastian did this crazy thing. It's like, we are Sebastian. We're not Jake. We're not Madison.
It's such a secret that they wouldn't even let us in to record the auditions.
We have a tryout process. You actually put the suit on. You have to come in with a 1-minute skit and then a 1-minute dance routine. Then there's an interview process at the end of the tryout.
But if any UM student can try out, why was Maddie the first female mascot in over 40 years?
We've had girls try out in the past, and we always just look for the people that do the best job and have the best enthusiasm, and Maddie, had that enthusiasm probably more than anybody else.
It's just tough because I'm a tall girl. I'm 5'9", 5'10", and a lot of the girls who do try out are like 5 feet. It's not because you're a girl that like we don't take you. It's just because like we all do have to look the same in suit.
And aside from the look, there's also the physical demands.
It's a tough job. I do the same thing the guys do. Like we have to be able to kind of like be athletic, keep that stamina.
And for 3 years, Maddie did it and she had everyone fooled. Sometimes, Miami's mascot was a girl.
First time I met her, she did a wonderful job, and I asked several people afterwards, did you notice anything different about Sebastian? And they said, no. What do you mean?
I think honestly the reason Maddie has been able to be successful is because she doesn't really set herself apart. It's nothing we ever think about of like, oh, Maddie's the girl.
We are virtually identical in suit.
You can tell they all look the same. Like, you cannot tell the difference between us.
Maddie had accomplished something that nobody could know and nobody could celebrate until graduation day.
So graduation, we wear our feet and our jersey, and we go up on stage, we do a spell out.
I have been thinking about this for 3 years now.
This is the moment where Maddie revealed her identity.
When she came out and revealed it was her, we were shook about it, but at the same time, we knew it would be her because it was really fitting for her personality.
And it's also when the pride really sunk in.
The joy she brings inside that suit to people that she doesn't know or may never see again, but she absolutely made their day. And so that's kind of cool to watch as a parent.
Have you guys seen this have an impact on her in any way?
I think it's really helped her grow. I think, I'm gonna get emotional. Sorry.
It's okay.
You always want your daughter to feel like empowered and like, there's no roadblocks. You can do anything you want. And we say those words, right? But it's harder to put it into action. And so to watch her put it into action has been kind of a surreal 3 years for us.
But it wasn't always easy for Maddie.
Definitely a few times there's been where like people don't believe me, like people who hire Sebastian, like pay money for Sebastian, and they're like, it's not you, is it?
There were times it was hard for her, being the only girl in a group. She wanted to be treated the same. She wanted no special treatment, and I think the guys treated her like one of the guys, yeah.
And after 3 years of Sebastian, Maddie's legacy lives on outside the suit.
It opens the doors for other kids who may not have ever wanted to break that barrier, but now that door is open. And so someone sitting at home right now who knows Maddie is like, hey, I could go do that.
It's kind of like an end of a chapter in your life, and you can kind of look back at it and be like, yeah, I did that.
You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl.
UM athletes are full-time students who also have to make time for practices, workouts, and games. But when injuries get in the way of the game, the consequences are not just physical. Jacqueline Mara has more.
Being a student athlete at a place like the University of Miami is a major accomplishment. Student athletes are success stories, champions, admired for their athleticism and strength. Student athletes seem to have it all, until they don't. One reason for this dramatic shift is injury, but the physical side of an injury is just half the battle. Tiana Omazic is a volleyball player at UM, but she has not played the sport she loves in nearly 2 years because of knee injuries.
You get something that you love so much stripped away from you in just a matter of a second.
She says that the mental challenges of injury have been the hardest part by far, and that the culture of college sports tells student athletes that pain is weakness.
I feel like as student athletes, I feel like we're kind of built to just suck it up and to bottle up our emotions.
Tiana says she was severely depressed after her injuries, but no one could see.
I just feel like people don't understand what it's like, for starters, to be a student athlete and to go through something so life-changing.
UM baseball player Mikey Rosario has also suffered multiple serious injuries.
You spend a lot of time by yourself, like when things like this happen, so it was dealing with those kind of demons and stuff is kind of hard.
Athletes like Tiana and Mikey are why UM sports psychologist Dr. Eric Goldstein decided to start a monthly support group for injured student athletes.
More and more of the student athletes I began talking to, and the ones I'd worked with previously, oftentimes shared with me the struggle that they had, not in coming to the training room and doing all the difficult rehabs, but how much it affected them emotionally.
According to Goldstein, about 1 in 4 student athletes face a diagnosable mental health condition.
A lot of the athletes get to say things they probably never said before, and it just feels good to them.
Goldstein says asking for help is not a weakness.
Instead of seeking out the help that I should have, I tried to handle it myself. And I think that that's where I got myself in a bigger hole.
And that continuing the dialogue about mental health in college sports will end the stigma.
Be able to open up to someone, I think it's pretty hard for a lot of us, but it's also great when we do and we notice a lot of change in ourselves.
Reporting for UMTV, I'm Jacqueline Mara.
Last year's Canes Hoops team was known for its chemistry on the court, but it was the youngest player on the roster that brought the team together in a way that basketball never could. Here's Morgan Champy with the story.
Let's go, Canes! This is Brennan, the youngest Cane on UM's men's basketball team. Brennan was born with hypoplastic left heart syndrome, a rare condition that caused only the right half of his heart to develop, leaving him unable to play traditional sports like other kids his age.
It's harder for him, especially just because now at the age that he's at, a lot of the kids are, he has friends playing football and playing soccer, and so he wants to do those things.
At just 15 years old, Brennan is an official Miami Hurricane, thanks to Team Impact, an organization that connects kids with chronic illnesses to local college athletic teams.
Team Impact's program is really about relationship building, developing rapport, an authentic relationship, genuine care and concern for folks. The great thing about our program is that we can personalize it to the child and the teen needs.
Team Impact connected Brennan with Canes Hoops in 2019, and since then, he's gotten to experience life on the team, from attending practices and team meals to spending his birthday with them.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
The team even held an official signing day for him in 2021, where he signed his letter of intent to officially become a Hurricane, and Brennan was beyond excited.
Oh, I was stoked. I found out and I could not stop
even when I was doing some other things, I was still thinking about it, and I couldn't get out of my head.
As excited as Brennan was to be a part of the team, the Canes were just as honored to have him.
This little kid is like no other kid I've ever met. You know, facing adversity is like almost your entire life. You know, it's one of the hardest things you can do, especially as a little kid. And the energy and charisma he brings in every day, this is just so inspiring.
Now officially part of a family he considers his own, Brennan and his mom are forever thankful to the team.
These guys are so much more than just a handshake at a game or coming to a signing to watch a kid sign a letter of intent. These guys are his world.
I would say you guys have been such a big thing in my life. You guys saved me. You guys pulled me up, and it's something that I'll never forget. So I just want to say thank you for that.
Reporting for UMTV, I'm Morgan Champy.
Competitive running is challenging, especially when you've been doing it for 55 years. But for one Miami resident, running has filled him with life and purpose. Leslie Dominique has the story.
It says 8 months.
In some ways, Courtney Barron is your average 78-year-old senior citizen. He loves going to church, catching up with old friends, and telling extended stories.
Looking good, looking good.
But there is something that keeps Courtney feeling and looking much younger than his actual age.
I'm 78 years old, and people say I look like I'm 60 years old, you know, so it keeps me going.
This Jersey-born Miami resident has been running competitively for 55 years and runs an average of 25 marathons every year.
I'm doing a 5K in about 48, 49 minutes.
Courtney once owned a club called Winning Stride, where he first began creating relationships through running.
I have a philosophy that a stranger is just a friend you haven't met.
One of his dearest friends is 52-year-old Ethel Belair, who met Courtney at church.
My first impression was like, I'm gonna get together with this guy. We're gonna get together, we're gonna do some things together, we're gonna run together, yeah.
And so Courtney the friend became Coach Courtney, and he would train Ethel every day at the crack of dawn.
He was faster than I. So he's like, I'm gonna go your pace. We're running at Ethel's pace. Ethel's pace.
Like any great tale, the apprentice eventually became the master, and Ethel's pace is now fast enough to medal in international races. Still, Ethel has not forgotten those early mornings with Courtney.
Say running is therapy. We talk about how, you know, the hurt we've been through and how we got over it with the help of God. I really appreciate him more than he knows. Yeah, more than he knows.
For Courtney, it's very important to pass the baton to younger runners like Ethel. But he also says running means way more for him. In fact, he credits it with saving his life. In his late 40s, Courtney had a bad breakup and suffered a deep depression that caused him to become suicidal.
I had a permit to carry a 38, and I went up to the South Mountain Reservation planning on blowing my brains out.
He says the only two reasons why he is still alive are his faith and running.
Running was a godsend. It just made me feel like new money. I don't take life for granted. I was definitely given another shot at life.
And Courtney has truly embraced life and is determined to leave a lasting legacy when he does meet his final finish line.
There's a song, if I could help somebody, that my living would not be in vain. And so I just want to have it said that I tried to help everybody. If I can help somebody, then my living will not be in vain. Yes.
Reporting for UMTV, I'm Leslie Ann Dominique.
For Courtney, staying in shape and keeping his legs strong has been the key to his running success. But other runners need to take a different approach to race. Here's the story of Wills to Run, an inspiring running duo whose story begins at the end of every finish line.
Well, I was 17 years old. I was in high school in the last year, and I was almost graduated, and I went to a party with a couple of friends, and we had a car accident.
And I almost died that day.
When I opened my eyes in the hospital, I didn't know what happened, and they told me. And they said, you don't move your legs right now. I didn't realize that I was depressed. I did a lot of rehabilitation. I spent like almost 4 years of my life every single day in a hospital.
I was exposed to, the day-to-day activities that these individuals go to. I was studying quality of life and sleep apnea in chronic spinal cord injured individuals. I was looking for participants to be part of my study.
We are ready to go to Niagara Falls.
Yay!
Marco, we're in the Niagara Falls. We made it.
When we were coming back, Lily was like, Danny, would you run a marathon with me? I was like, no, there's no way. Oh, what about a 5K? Okay, let's try a 5K. So I did the 5K, and when we were finishing it, I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but sign me up for a half marathon.
I don't know what exactly clicked inside him in that moment, but he said, I want to do this with you. And I said, you're crazy. The marathon is less than 2 months. And you never ran before. And I said, we're gonna do it.
Okay, bye guys.
Bye.
I was pushing her, like I was exhausted. I was like, I don't know why I'm doing this, going through all these things. And I'm watching her, cheering people around, trying to push her wheelchair, and I'm pushing her, and I'm like, you have your 2 legs, like, just go.
How do you feel about Sunday? Do you feel like you're ready?
Yes, totally. Yeah.
You're not nervous
Yeah, not at all, no.
This is the first year that I haven't felt ready at all.
We think Lily's ready, so you better be ready.
Yeah, exactly. No, oh yeah, she's ready. She's like, Danny, go. It's like, okay, yes.
We made it, Lily.
Yes.
We made it.
It's magical. Like, they complement each other so well, and I feel they inspire all the people that is around them to be better and to do better and to feel that anything can be possible.
Bueno, mi hermano desde siempre ha sido un orgullo para mí, pero el hecho de que haga estas carreras, pues obviamente me hace sentir muy feliz. De hecho, estoy por ella en esto y bueno, estamos apoyándola siempre Bueno, me encanta.
Will to Run is hope. It gives people the hope of achieving something that they've always wanted to do, regardless of how difficult it's going to be.
We're running Disney.
So if I can dress her up, either like like Arturito or like Cinderella.
I want to be a snowball.
No. No.
Why not?
Because we need to make sure that like the wheelchair has
but
a point.
beautiful dress and everything.
You're gonna look as beautiful as a princess. Don't worry.
No.
I would say right now that it's like a local movement of awareness and inclusion of disabled individuals to normalize, disability into regular lives, to support those on the wheelchair, but also those supporting the wheelchair.
Yeah, Will to Run is us.
When I thought of the idea of doing a race, I thought, what's the point if someone is going to push me? I had friends that says, you should try it, it's fun, and it was more than fun for me. It definitely changed me.
You're like exhausted, telling yourself that you cannot make it, and then someone on a wheelchair passes by you, and she's like, hey, you with the orange shirt, keep going. How are you gonna tell her no? You're just gonna go. We have, literally, we have had 5Ks, 10Ks, full marathons. People coming to Lily, giving her a hug, a kiss, and thank you for inspiring me, because if it wasn't because of you, I would have never finished the race. You never know how this impacts other people. She took me from science to reality, right? I'm a scientist, I'm a doctor, I'm in medicine and whatnot, but she took me from there to actually live the day-to-day things. So she has definitely helped me, being more compassionate to my patients, to live my life more fully, to enjoy my life better.
Everyone is capable to evolve, no matter her circumstances. And even if you are in a wheelchair, you have the strength to move forward and to change your life. And sport, it's an amazing way to do it. It changed my way to think of what I'm able to do, because I don't need my legs for do a marathon. I realized that I can do a lot of things in a different way, and that's okay. That's valid.
And that's all the time we have for this special presentation of Sports Desk. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.